Make sure only client is checked and verify that you have enough hard drive space. Okay, so this is unique from the password to log in to your camera system. So the intention here is if, say, you have a computer where there's multiple people using it, but not all of them are supposed to be accessing the cameras. If it is assumed that everyone using this computer should be able to access the cameras, you can just check enable auto login. I'm going to do admin. It makes you put in a number, so I'm going to just say admin and then password 1, and I'm going to check and enable auto login, and you would not need a password to open this program. So we're going to click add. IP domain, that should be checked by default. Name, there's no wrong answer, it's just a label, so you could call it home, work, office. I'm just going to say my camera system. Address, that's going to be unique to your install and will be provided by your installer. Port 8000 is the default, unless told otherwise, just leave that alone. Username, this is unique from the credentials that you just created for this software. This is the username and password to log into the actual camera system as opposed to the software, and will be provided by your installer. Make sure export to group is checked. Add. Importing succeeded. Assuming you typed everything right, you should get that. Security says weak because my password is weak. It's just a demo. Okay, so first things first, let's go to view, main view. This is going to be the live view of the camera. This is a 4-channel system and there's only one camera installed. That's why 1 through 3 look different than number 4. So if you double click that, it's going to pull up the live view. But we're going to backtrack. So if you go, there's 2 ways to do the same thing. So you have these tabs up here. You can go to device management, or you could go up to view. And, oh, I'm sorry, it doesn't let you go there from that screen. So you can do this one and then device management. So we're going to highlight it, or we're going to change device to group. And then camera 4 is the only one working on this system right now. So I'm going to hold down shift and highlight 1, 2, and 3 and delete those. And then the label, so it just kind of gives it this generic one. You can either double click, or you can highlight your camera and you click modify. Same thing. So let's change that to say my camera. Okay. Close out of that. So you can see here now there's no unused cameras and the label has been updated. So say you had a 16-channel DVR or NVR and only 14 cameras are used. That's how you would delete the unused ones. So double clicking will bring it up. You can double click the tile to go full screen. Up here, the X, that's going to close it. This is the 4 tile. Even though I only have 1 camera, I'm going to double click. It's going to open that camera in whatever grid you have highlighted. Actually, that closed it since it was already open. So you can click here. You can drag and drop. You're not going to be able to tell since it's the same camera, but that just switched the 2. So let's go full screen, and these buttons down here. So you have capture, start recording, and switch to instant playback. The first 2, capture and start recording, When you click those, what it's going to do is create either a still shot or a video on your local hard drive. This is completely independent of the recording and the recording settings in your DVR. And what that's doing, if you go up here to Tool, System Configuration, File, it's saving in this folder. So on Windows it's C, NVMS7000, Video, and Capture, respectively. You could change the location if you wanted. I'm going to leave that alone. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. That was the still shot button, and it gives you a link to open Explorer in that location. So what you have is, now you have a capture folder. This is so for every day that you hit that button, it's going to make a new folder. So it's year, month, day. Had I done this yesterday, you would have had a folder that looks like that. So that's a still shot. Let's do that one more time. Let's just hold my hand in front of the camera. Capture. So say you're watching the camera and you want to start recording video to your local hard drive. You click Start Recording. Let's just do the hand test here. Stop recording, and it gives you a link to that same folder, except now you have video, record file, this is the date, this represents the camera. So if you had multiple cameras, it would put each one in a different folder. And this gives you a still shot as well. That's the video file. If you have issues playing back the file, I would recommend VLC Media Player. I'll put a link in the description. So those two buttons, that's saving it to your local hard drive. This one, switch to instant playback. This is video that was recorded on the device's hard drive. Has nothing to do with what you just did with these buttons. So if we do, let's just say 10 minutes. This camera is recording only when motion is detected. So these bars represent motion. Should see my hand pop up here briefly. Might have just been a shadow that triggered it. I have the settings a little high. Let's do 1 minute. No, nothing in the last minute. You're going to get no record file found if there was no motion detected in the range that you've chosen. So in the last 5 minutes, it's being triggered by the reflection. Okay, so that I think covers the live view. You can also change the grid settings down here in addition to up here. You can make your own grid here and save it if you want. You can just call it My Grid. So those now appear here. Okay, so now we're going to go over the playback. I went to view and then remote playback. Right now, since there's only one camera, that's all you're going to see here. If you click on the date, you can change the range. So right now, if you were to double click that camera, it's going to search for all video between the 30th and today, which is the 6th, from this time to this time. And it's going to start playing. So each one of these is when motion was detected. On this timeline down here, you can zoom in. And each one of those represents one of these blocks of motion. There was no recordings yesterday, so this is going to show nothing. But that's how you would jog the day. So say if you wanted to change the range, if I make that, oops, I did that wrong. If I make that the 5th, and then the end is the 6th, and then we search with you again, we're going to double click. See, now you only see 5 and 6. When you double click, it does the search. It also does the same thing if you click and drag the camera onto the tile you want. Additionally, you can double click to go full screen. Here you have the same concept as the live view. You can capture and record video from within the basically you're recording a recording as opposed to the live view. If you want to export video, a couple ways to do that. You can right click and click download. So each one of those is one of these clips right here. There's not a lot of recording yet on this unit, so there's really no need to do download by date, but say you had a month's worth of recordings, you could do download by date, duration, and you would do, let's say the 5th, and that's going to filter only the recordings during those times. You click download. I believe that's going to give me 4 clips. Those went to that same NVMS folder, but I'm going to do this again just to show you. So if I click download, as soon as that's done, you get that link. So now when you go to the video folder, these are the ones that you created earlier by clicking the buttons in the live view. This folder was created when I did download by date and I chose a range. So that's going to give you all those files. This one is when I chose a specific file. When you're doing playback, you can control it down here. You can also right click. So you can do play. You can see that's real time. You can make it go faster. You can go up to 16, I believe, yeah. And then when you get to the end, it's going to tell you that. You can play in reverse. That's it.